So, let's talk about that glowing rectangle in your pocket. You know the one. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the powerful and honestly, kind of invisible science that shapes our daily lives, especially when it comes to our phones.
I mean, you've been there, right? You pull out your phone to check one little thing, and then you blink. Suddenly, 2 hours are just gone. You look up from your screen, kind of dazed, and you're just like, wait, what just happened? Well, here's the thing. What if I told you it's not your fault? It's not about you having weak willpower or no self-control. The truth is, you've been put inside a very sophisticated digital experiment, one that's been designed using psychological principles discovered almost 100 years ago. You're not weak, you're just playing a game that's been rigged from the start.
So, to really get how these apps have such a grip on us, we've got to go back and look at the actual experiments that wrote the playbook for all of this.
You know, it's pretty wild how these ideas just build on top of each other. It all started with Pavlov and his dogs, right? Ring a bell, give them food, and pretty soon they're drooling at just the sound of the bell. But the real game changer, the guy we really need to talk about, is B.F. Skinner. He took things way further. He wasn't just creating simple associations, he was actively shaping brand new behaviors using rewards.
Skinner's big idea was called operant conditioning, and the principle behind it is, well, it's deceptively simple. Basically, any behavior that gets a reward is probably going to happen again, and any behavior that gets a punishment, yeah, it's probably going to stop. And he proved this with a pretty famous little invention. He built this thing that we now call the Skinner box. He'd pop a rat inside, and the rat would just do its thing, scurrying around, sniffing stuff, until, purely by accident, it would press a little lever. And boom, a food pellet drops in. It really didn't take long for that little rat brain to connect the dots. Pretty soon, anytime it was hungry, it went straight for the lever. The behavior wasn't just learned, it was locked in.
And what this all revealed was this kind of toolkit for behavior change. 4 basic tools. If you want to encourage a behavior, you can either give something good, like the food, or you can take away something bad, like a really annoying buzzing sound. And if you want to discourage a behavior, you just do the opposite. You can give something bad, like a little shock, or you can take away something good, like the food. These 4 tools are, no joke, the foundation for pretty much all behavior design you see today.
And that brings us right back to that glowing screen in your hand. Because that simple little box for rats, it's been scaled up, and now it's in the pockets of billions of people.
But here's the twist. As groundbreaking as those rat experiments were, Skinner's most powerful, most addictive discovery, it didn't come from rats. It came when he switched to pigeons, and, more importantly, when he changed the rules of the game.
He started rewarding the pigeons on what he called a variable schedule. So instead of getting a food pellet every single time they pecked a little disc, they got one randomly. Sometimes it was 1 peck, 1 reward. Sometimes they'd peck 10 times and get absolutely nothing. This randomness, this unpredictability, it drove the pigeons nuts. They would just peck and peck and peck at that disc way more compulsively than when the reward was predictable. This, right here, is the engine of modern addiction.
And that leads us to a simple and maybe slightly terrifying conclusion. You are the pigeon, and your phone is the box. The apps on it are the most sophisticated variable reward machines ever created.
Just think about it for a second. That endless scroll on Instagram or TikTok, that's you pulling the lever over and over and over. And what are you looking for? That variable reward. You scroll past a boring post, another boring post, and then bam, a hilarious video that makes you laugh out loud. You keep scrolling, and bam, a little notification that someone liked your photo. You never ever know when that next little goodie is going to show up. So you just keep scrolling, keep pecking at that screen, hunting for that next little hit of dopamine. Okay, so yeah, that's the bad news, but here's the good news. Once you actually understand the experiment, you can stop being the test subject and start being the scientist. You can use these exact same principles to build the life and the habits that you actually want.
The huge problem we all face is this. Bad habits, right? Scrolling on your phone, eating junk food. The reward is instant. It feels good right now. The consequence, wasted time, gaining weight, that's way off in the future. But good habits, like working out or reading a book, they're the total opposite. The consequence, the effort, the soreness, is instant. And the reward, getting fit, getting smarter, that's delayed for weeks, months, maybe even years.
So, what this means is that if we really want to make good habits stick, we have to find a way to reward ourselves immediately. We've got to hack our own brains and make the progress feel good right now, not just someday. There's this great story about a young salesman who is just crushing it, totally outperforming all the veterans. And his big secret? 2 jars and a box of paper clips. He'd start every day with 120 paper clips in 1 jar. And after every single sales call he made, win or lose, he would just move 1 paper clip over to the empty jar. He wasn't thinking about some commission check way off in the future. He was focused on the immediate satisfaction of moving that 1 little paper clip. That tiny visual proof of progress, that was his reward. And you can totally do this too. Get a calendar, and every day you hit the gym, put a big fat X on it. Your new goal isn't just go to the gym, it's don't break the chain. Or if you're trying to lose or gain weight, weigh yourself every single day. Seeing those tiny little fluctuations is so much more motivating than waiting a whole month to maybe see a difference. And definitely celebrate the milestones. Every kilogram you lose or gain, that's worth a real reward.
Now for breaking bad habits, it works the exact same way, just in reverse. The whole key is to attach an immediate consequence, or some kind of friction, to the thing you want to stop doing.
For instance, put a timer on your social media apps that literally locks you out after 15 minutes. That friction, that hard stop, is an immediate consequence. Or you could try something called temptation bundling. You tell yourself you can only watch that new episode on Netflix after you've gone for a run. You bundle the thing you want with the thing you need to do, making that good habit way more attractive.
Ultimately, this whole thing is about shifting your mindset. The world is absolutely filled with Skinner boxes designed to hijack your attention. But when you understand the rules of the game, you can stop being the pigeon pecking at the screen and start building your own systems for your own success. You get to be the experimenter.
So let's do a super quick recap. First, our brains are hardwired to repeat anything that gets rewarded. Simple as that. Second, it's those random, unpredictable rewards, like the ones on social media, that are the most powerful and the most addictive. But you can fight back. You can build good habits by creating your own immediate rewards. And you can break bad habits by adding immediate friction or consequences.
And that really just leaves us with one final question to think about. What is one good habit you want to start building, and what is one tiny, immediate, satisfying reward you can attach to it starting today? The power to change your own behavior, it's right there in your hands.